Hello, this is Benji's Code, and welcome back for another tutorial. Today we're going to be doing testing in Cypress or Next.js, or it's Cypress within Next.js. But yeah, alright, I'm going to do a little bit of a setup. If you already have a project and you're already set up and just want to know how to test navigation, then skip forward a little bit. I'll put a timestamp in the description. But yeah, for the setup, I'm just going to run npx create dash next dash app, and that will create within the folder that I am, and then we can just make a project name. I'll call it test nav. No TypeScript, yes on lint, yes on source directory, no on app directory, and just click enter on that, and might skip forward because it takes a little while to download Next. Alright, now once your next project is created, another folder should be created with the project name, and now in our terminal we are going to cd into that test nav project. Now from here we can npm I dash dash save dash dev, and now Cypress, because we want it to be a dev dependency, so it'll work in our dev environment. Alright, awesome. Now that that's set up, we want to go to our package.json, make sure Cypress is in the dev dependencies. Looks great, but now we want to make a script for it. So add a comma there, make a new line, call it Cypress colon Cypress open. Alright, awesome. Now that we have this script set up, we can set up the NavBar, and I'm just going to paste it in since it's not the focus of the video, and you might have your own NavBar that it will work on. However, if you want to copy this navbar, it will be in the GitHub repo in the description. Alright, so now that we're in index, we can delete everything inside the main tag. So all the way down, delete it. So now that we just have this main tag, and paste the navbar in. Alright, there we go, formatted. And alright, so before I actually go through and explain the navbar, let's copy some CSS into it. Let's get the import right here. Oh, whoops. Alright, wonderful. We got the import. And now let's make a file for the styles. So in styles, we can create a new file, and let's call it navbar.module.css. Alright, now I'm going to paste the CSS that I pre-made. Nothing too fancy, just some a drop down and some hover. But yeah, alright, we can also get this code from the GitHub repo. Alright, now let's save this, go back to here, save this, and this should be working. Awesome. Now we can run this and test out the navbar to make sure it works by npm run dev. Now once this is running, you will want to navigate to localhost 3000, and I am getting an error. Alright, so we need to import link from Next.js to be able to link it. So up here, after style, we can just import link from next/link. Save that, go back to our project. Okay, amazing. So this is the simple navbar. Home just returns you to the same URL. Products will get you to products, and about will bring you to about, and then you have this drop down and some more links that will also bring you to the name of the link. Okay, awesome. Now that this is working, we can start on the actual testing process with Cypress. So let's go back over here, and we are going to want to open up a new terminal, clicking the plus sign, cd into our test nav, and now we can run the npm run Cypress, the script that we wrote in our JSON. And this will open an app, Cypress app, and if you have not configured it yet, which I have not with this project, you will want to click on this E2E testing configure. Just click continue, and now I'm going to use Chrome. If you want to use that, that's up to you, but I'm going to start testing in Chrome. Alright, now we have this stuff set up. Click on create new spec. We'll just call it anything, create spec. Okay, run the spec, create another, we'll run it. And alright, just let that run. Amazing. Go back to the code, and now inside the Cypress we will see a E2E folder. Now in this folder we're going to want to create a file, and let's call it nav.cy.js. Alright, now in this we are going to start writing our tests. So the way we do that, by starting a section of tests, we have to describe. So, describe, and let's say navigation, since that's what this section is going to be all about. Comma, arrow function. Alright, now let's run our first test. So the way to write a Cypress test is just the keyword it, and now we put a string saying what it should do. So this first one should navigate to products. We'll do products first. Should navigate to the products page. Awesome. Now let's put in another arrow function. And now we do cy.visit. And now we want to put in that HTTP, like the home URL to our project, which will be localhost 3000. / Okay, great. So now the test will be starting at the URL that we start the project at, which has the NavBar in it. And now we want to go to we want Cypress to click on the link. So the way we can do that is by just making a new line, cy.get. Now we want to do quotes, the a tag, and href star equals products. Now closing double quote, closing bracket, and then after dot click, telling it to click it to see what happens. Alright, so the way we're doing this is we're telling Cypress that it's an a tag, that's the name of the tag, the HTML element that you're supposed to click on, and then anything that has, or any a tag that has products in it. So if we go back here to our products, this is the a tag and this is what's in it. So if it includes this word, it will click on it. Great. Alright, so now after clicking on that, we need to make sure that the URL changed. So by cy.url should include, so now in quotes, include the products URL. So products, but actually we want to put a slash in front of that. Products, awesome. So now if this is true, if Cypress clicks on this link and the URL changes to products, then the test should pass. So command save. Let's go and run Cypress once again. Alright, now that we have Cypress up, we can, oh no, specs. Okay, yeah, click on specs, and then the file that we created, nav, should be here. We can click on that and it'll automatically run it. And amazing, our first test passed because it goes to the URL products. Now, oh, whoops. Now if we were to change that in our VS Code to, let's just say, product, actually that won't work, products, because if it includes it, save that, go back to Cypress, run it again, and it will fail because it does not include products with 2 S's. Alright, awesome. Go back to the code, get rid of that S, and now we can take another look at this NavBar and see what else do we want to test. About. So the way the about link is set up is the same that this is set up. So we can just copy this, Option Shift arrow down, and now we can just change a couple things. Should navigate to about. Whoops. About. Just copy that. Now we want the A tag that includes about, and it should go to the URL about. Alright, let's save that and double check. Go back to Chrome, and awesome, now we have 2 tests that it's passing. However, it is a little different when it comes to the drop-down menu. So with the drop-down menu, we're going to have to take in an additional step. So the way we have the drop-down is a hover. So when you hover the mouse over it, it will then show you the links. So it's a little tricky, but the way you're going to want to do it is on the actual drop-down, you want to put a data-cy. Now this is kind of like, it works the same way as a class or an ID, and it's just a way of grabbing that HTML element. So this is called dropdown. So we are going to, and then we have another one that's dropdown content. So to test the link that's inside the dropdown, let's write out a test for it. So it should navigate to the, let's do JavaScript page. Awesome. Do another arrow function. And now we're going to copy this same stuff down. Just copy this, put it in here. Everything here is the same except there's an additional step. So before we can even click on it, we need to show it. So how we do that is cy.get quotes brackets data, the data cy that we initially wrote down, equals, what did we call it? We called it drop down content, just like that. Definitely has to be spelled the same. And then we're not necessarily clicking on it because it's a hover, so we have to invoke it. Invoke, and then we'll call the show option. Amazing. Now this should also work, or actually no, we need to change this to JavaScript and change this to JavaScript as well. Alright, so we start at localhost, invoke the drop down menu, then that should show the link, and then click on the link, and then check if it's included in the URL. Alright, save that. Go back to this page, and awesome, they all passed. That's great. It visits, and then you can get more details by clicking on one of them. It visits the local host, grabs the dropdown, it shows it, and then it gets that URL, clicks on it, and then expected URL is localhost 3000 JavaScript. Awesome. All passed, and we have a NavBar testing. If this video helped you out, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more tutorials, and have fun coding.